The title of the film I'll be explaining is The Lorax. An old character named Lorax is introduced at the beginning of the film. He was telling a story about a city. Everything in the city is made of plastic, including trees and plants. Even there is no air or water in the city. Air and water are delivered in that city. The mayor of the city is responsible for this. He had formed his own company for this purpose, and he does not do it for free. He is earning billions from it. The people are happy here instead of being annoyed by their loving style. A small boy lived in this city named Ted. He used to go to the house of a girl he likes. The girl has painted her house beautifully. There were some paintings of trees. The girl tells Ted, "I'd love to see those trees in person. All things are made of plastic in this city, that's why. Even trees aren't real in this world." Ted believes he will grant her wish and show her these trees one day. His mother says, "What are you talking about?" When he asks his mother about it, the real trees were removed many years ago. Now there are precious trees in the city. They will not be damaged because they are made of plastic. Other trees demand care. Why are you asking? I want to see the real trees, Ted replies. Ted's grandmother says, "Okay, if you want to see the real trees, I will tell you a man's address. He lives in a dangerous place. It is a dark, deserted place. You should give him 3 things to keep the man calm. Some coins, a nail, and an old shell of a snail." Ted begins to collect these items in preparation for his meeting with the man. Ted moves on his bike at night to meet the man named Once-ler. Ted was excited when he moves on the path accordingly. He sees a wall that was made by the mayor around the city to forbid any citizen to go out from here. He has fixed CCTV cameras everywhere to get the city report. Mayor becomes furious after knowing it. Ted moves inside. While going from a door within the wall, he notices a draining system for the filthy water from city drains here. Ted becomes shocked after seeing the outer world. Everything was destroyed and the air was also not fresh. Like there is nothing left. He believes Mayor is our well-wisher, that he did not let us go into this filthy environment because everything is polluted and damaged here. While crossing the path, Ted reaches Once-ler's home and rings the bell. Meanwhile, a trap comes and pulls him upside. He was hanging in the air. The old man sees from the shade, asks him, "Who are you?" Ted replies, "I'm here to ask you how this world was destroyed." Once-ler tells him about his childhood and adulthood. He tells him he wanted to do some invention. He started working on it. This career wasn't possible in our city. He left his house and reached a beautiful place. It has every color and there were some beautiful trees. It would help him in his invention. He thought he will use those trees. There were many animals, Once-ler tells. He gave them marshmallows and they become good friends. When he cut the first tree, the animals get terrified after seeing it. It was their house, that's why. Once-ler was damaging their house. The weather deteriorates as well, and the animals flee in terror. There was a thunderstorm also. Meanwhile, a small man comes out of the tree named Lorax. He told Once-ler he is the protector of this forest. "You made a huge mistake by chopping down the tree. It would be better for you to leave as soon as possible." Lorax told Once-ler if he will not move from here till night, nature will take revenge on him. It will happen to you in the same way that it has happened to nature. After it, in the present, old Once-ler says, "Ted, I am tired. Tomorrow I will tell you the remaining story. You seem a good boy, so go home. It's late at night." Ted is shown dreaming the next day. He sees the girl whom she likes in the dream. He is presenting her a piece of the tree. She begins to smile, but Ted awakens. He again moves to meet Once-ler. He is stopped by the mayor because he does not want to teach him much about trees. It can ruin his business, that's why. Mayor says, "I have a lot of tasks to do, I am going. But do remember there are cameras everywhere in the city. If you leave, it will not be good for you." Ted immediately leaves when they move from there. He again goes to meet Once-ler. Once-ler again tells him the story. I have made my cloth while making a thread with the fur of the tree, on which I was conducting research. Lorax and his animals didn't like me to damage their trees. Lorax floated me in the stream along with my bed, but I had a bear baby, Kubi, which they haven't seen before. They tried to save it after seeing it, but they couldn't get it. There was a water wall and we will flow on it. Then Lorax threw a huge stone towards us. We jumped out from the water due to it. Lorax teaches me, with love, that there are some manners in every place. Like you came here, you stayed with love, become a friend of animals. None said anything to you, even you were spending a good time. But when you started harming their habitat, the problem started. I know the trees are important for animals as I am a guard of this forest. If you want to live here, so live with love as a friend of those animals. Please don't harm those trees. Once-ler says then, I understood and I promised them I will not harm the trees. Once-ler has completely made the scarf. He comes to the city for selling it. None buys it. Once-ler throws the scarf in anger. It fell on the lady and she likes it. People gradually start asking her who gave her this. They all come to know this is Once-ler's scarf. It is precious and beautiful. They start searching for the tree to make things for them. It was in the forest. While searching, they reach the forest. Lorax does not feel well. Their forest was at a far distance from the city. They used to live peacefully. The old man asks Ted to come tomorrow while finishing the story. On the other side, Ted is seen meeting his grandmother with the girl. His grandmother discovers to impress the girl Ted is searching for those trees. He goes out of the city again and again because of it. We see the girl who becomes sad after seeing that there are no paintings at her house. Maya has removed those paintings. Ted moves out to look for the paintings of trees he knew about because of them. While going out of the city, he sees all the paths are closed today. He jumps from a tall building and ends up on another path. He again reaches Once-ler. Once-ler tells him the further story. When he became famous and there was a demand for him to make cloth while using it. My family said, we also will come with you to the forest. Lorax becomes furious because of it. But I made him understand they are here to help you. We will not cut those trees. We have made a house and a factory there. I used to take off the fur of the trees instead of cutting them. From this, the forest was also not affected. I used them gradually and I got a small profit. My family said one day, you can cut 1 or 2 trees. It is not a big deal. I also become greedy and I started cutting the trees. My greed enhanced that I cut all of those trees. It means I have cut all the trees of the forest. I have collected a lot of money. But when there wasn't a single tree in the forest, I have to shut down my factory. On what would I work? My family flees, taking my money. The animals also become depressed because there was pollution in my factory. It polluted this beautiful forest. The animals used to cry, and Lorax was also aggressive. I also scold and make Lorax run from there. Even it was his own place. You will regret what you have done, according to Lorax, and you will bear the fruit of your actions. The story that Once-ler was telling, Lorax again moves back into the sky. He has been sent by God to protect this forest. He is useless if there is no forest. Once-ler regrets it because he was alone. Now it was too late. Lorax, before returning into the sky, has collected stones and made a place. Unless, he wrote outside, Once-ler informs Ted that this means my punishment will be reduced until a child or boy comes along who adores trees. Till then, my regret will not be reduced. The old Once-ler gives Ted a seed of those beautiful trees. He informs him that this is the last seed to be sown in your city, so the people can see those beautiful trees. I ruined them. Ted takes the seed to his city and invites the girl to his house. They were in a room upstairs and Ted hides the seed. The mayor has already seen the seed with Ted in the CCTV footage. He was already at Ted's house. He asks Ted for the seed, but Ted says he doesn't have any. Mayer asks his companions to search for the seed from his house. "What are these manners?" asks Ted's mother. "How can you search anyone's house like this? Leave from here." They have to leave. Ted searches for the seed from his room, but he couldn't find it. He becomes worried, but he sees his grandmother was holding the seed. A small plant is coming out of it. He shows his friend the seed. He tells her, "Look, I have found the seed of the trees. I have to sow it in this city, and after it, the beautiful tree will grow here." "There is an issue, Mayer, and his companions are watching me. If I will go out, they will hold me and will take the seed from me." Ted's mother says, "I have an idea, don't get upset." She makes a dummy of Ted. She puts it in the back seat of the car and moves out. Mayer's companions think maybe Ted is in the car. They chase the car. Ted, a friend, and his grandmother move on his bike with seed on the other side to sow the seed to grow the plant. The mayor was adamant because if the tree grew, his business would be destroyed. How would he take this risk? He fashions something resembling wings and uses them to transport the seed to him. The seed falls in the bottle and Mayer holds the bottle. Ted becomes upset. But then he slides his bike speedily and his grandmother holds the bottle while using her stick. They immediately enter a garden where there is also a mayor's statue. They break and fall the head of the statue. The plastic grass on the ground was damaged. It denotes that the ground has broken and the real ground has emerged from beneath. The mayor had willingly hidden it. They have taken out the seed to sow it in the ground. The people weren't feeling well, so the mayor arrived. He says negative things to people. If Ted grows this plant, it will contaminate the entire area. Its leaves will disperse and it will take up a lot of space. Aren't my plastic trees useful? They stay in a beautiful and green environment. The audience was engrossed in what he was saying. Meanwhile, Ted's friend explains to them, "Why don't you understand? He has placed the plastic trees so they can't give oxygen in return. He can sell water and air to you." People are still skeptical of her. Ted says, "Okay. You will not believe like this. It fell the front wall while getting into a crane. People start seeing the outer world due to it. The people who haven't seen anything outside the city, they become happy after seeing the outer world. They are all united in their opposition to the mayor that he has taken advantage of us. A mayor's companion makes him fly while wearing a flyer on his head. Ted sows the seed with his companions. After a few days, the plant matures into a lovely tree. Meanwhile, Once-ler arrives and is overjoyed after seeing the city. The greenery will return and Lorax appears in front of him. He appreciates him while saying, "You have done a good job. I've always wanted people to recognize the importance of greenery. Nature loves the person who loves nature." This is the end of the film. I hope you found the explanation useful.